Jake passed his driving test on a Tuesday afternoon, grinning ear to ear as he held up his brand new license. 20 minutes later, instead of driving to a friend's house or the burger place he'd been talking about for weeks, he got in the car alone and drove somewhere none of us knew about. It took me 3 days to find out where. My name is Ryan Mitchell, and this is the story of the quiet place my son had been going, long before he ever had the license to drive there himself. Sarah and I had taken the entire afternoon off to be there for Jake's driving test, the way we'd been present for nearly every milestone since he was small. He passed easily, confidently, the examiner commenting on his careful, measured driving, steady, not showy, exactly like the boy I'd watched grow into someone increasingly thoughtful with every passing year. "Can I drive myself somewhere?" he asked immediately afterward, practically vibrating with excitement. "Just around the block, nothing far." "Sure, buddy, just text when you're heading back," I told him, tossing him the keys, that particular mixture of pride and nervousness every parent feels handing over that responsibility for the first time. He was gone almost 2 hours, longer than around the block should have taken. When he finally returned, he seemed quieter than his earlier excitement had suggested, thoughtful in a way that made me curious rather than concerned. "Everything okay?" I asked. "You were gone a while." "Yeah, sorry," he said. "I just needed some time to think. It's fine." I didn't push further that evening, trusting that whatever he needed space for was his to work through in his own time. But over the following days, I noticed a pattern. Jake taking the car out alone every afternoon after school, gone for roughly an hour each time, always a little quieter when he returned. "Do you know where he's been going?" I asked Sarah one evening, genuinely curious now rather than worried. "I don't," she said. "But he seems okay, just thoughtful. Maybe he just needs the independence right now." On the 4th day, my curiosity finally outweighed my instinct to give him space. I decided, rather than following him directly, to simply ask. "Jake, I've noticed you've been driving somewhere most afternoons. You don't have to tell me if it's private, but I wanted to check in, make sure everything's okay." He was quiet for a moment, clearly weighing how to answer. "It's not bad, I promise. I've just been going to the cemetery, where Danny's buried." I sat with that for a moment, genuinely surprised. "Danny Torres? From the funeral, years ago?" Jake nodded. "I've actually been going since I got my learner's permit last year, whenever Grandma would drive me. I just never mentioned it, because I didn't really know how to explain why." "Why Danny, specifically?" I asked gently, genuinely wanting to understand. "You only met him once, at his funeral." "That's kind of exactly why," Jake said, sitting down across from me. "I remember standing there, listening to you talk about him, and it was the first time I really understood what it meant to be the kind of person other people talk about, like that after they're gone. Steady, trustworthy, someone who showed up. I started going because I wanted to sit somewhere quiet and think about what kind of person I actually want to become. Danny felt like a good measuring stick, even though I barely knew him. Someone who did the right thing, even when nobody would have known if he hadn't." I felt something tighten in my chest, moved beyond words for a moment by the depth of what my son had just described. "What do you think about when you're there?" I asked, genuinely curious now. "Different stuff," Jake said. "Sometimes about school or friends, decisions I'm trying to make. Sometimes about you, actually, trying to understand what it must have been like, losing someone like that, and still finding a way to keep moving forward for me and Lily and Sarah." And now that you can drive yourself there, I said, you've kept going. It felt important to keep doing it on my own, Jake said. Not because Grandma driving me there felt wrong, just, I don't know. Getting my license felt like the right moment to make it fully mine. A place I choose to go, not just get taken to. The following weekend, Jake asked if I wanted to come with him, an invitation that felt significant given how private this ritual had clearly become for him. We stood together at Danny's grave, the afternoon quiet and unhurried. Jake noticeably more comfortable in the space than I might have expected from someone who'd only met the man once, briefly, at the end of his life. I never got the chance to properly thank him, I said quietly, for saving my life all those years ago. I keep thinking about that, standing here. Maybe that's part of why I keep coming, Jake said. Like, if I can't fix that for you exactly, I can at least make sure somebody keeps showing up. Keep him from just becoming quiet and forgotten. I put an arm around his shoulders, unable to find words equal to what he just offered. Both of us standing together in comfortable silence for a long while. Driving home together, Jake behind the wheel now, with the easy confidence of someone who'd been secretly practicing this exact route for over a year. I found myself reflecting on how much I still had to learn about the depth of my own son. Thank you for showing me, I told him. I know that was private. I think I was ready to share it, Jake said. I just needed it to be mine first, before it became something we did together. Does that make sense? Completely, I said. I think that's exactly how the most meaningful things usually work. That evening, I thought about how easily I could have missed this entirely. A quiet, private ritual my son had been keeping for over a year, shaping the kind of person he was choosing to become in ways I'd never fully appreciated until he finally let me in. If you've ever discovered a quiet, private piece of someone you love that they'd been carrying alone, if you've ever needed a place to sit with your own thoughts about who you're becoming, I want you to know, sometimes the most meaningful growth happens in the quiet places we choose entirely on our own, long before anyone else finds out. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments. And if you have a story of your own, share it below. It might just become our next episode. This is Silent Love, and this was a story about the quiet places that shape us.